So this is kind of cool. Inside of these areas, in this part of the world, there's a bunch of old abandoned home sites. I don't know how old this is, but you can always find them by these yucca plants. See those? And these yuccas, they grow, but surprisingly they don't take off, so they don't get, you know, invasive or anything, but they will grow forever. If you're ever poking around and you find a bunch of plants like that that are just kind of out random, chances are at one time there was an old home site in the area, and you could probably go back and find the history on how, when yuccas were moved into this region, you know, they had to go basically west to east. But it's kind of interesting. So my guess is this little high spot in this field right here at one time had some kind of a house on it. And my guess is it sat, if you could see it right in here. See if we can walk over here. My guess is whatever sat in here back in the day was right in here. And with the snow on the ground, you kind of got to be careful that you don't step into an old well or something that's been just covered up with something flimsy. But I don't know, it's kind of interesting. Let's see what's up here. Look at that old rock in there. Those trees there are pretty old, so I doubt that structure sat in here, but I bet that rock that I kicked at is the remnants of an old foundation of sorts. So I don't know this to be fact, but I'm just kind of thinking out loud. My guess is that this was probably an old homestead back during Civil War time. It could have been settled afterwards. You can see here some old metal in here, some old, I don't even know what that is. Sometimes you can tell. I have no idea what that is, but you can tell in here a lot of times kind of how old it is by what you find. But I'm up on a high spot here, and I found some rock sitting on this edge, and my guess is that this area in here was probably where whatever structure there was, where that structure sat off of that old abandoned county road. If you look up, if you're like a history buff, you look up the history, type in the term bushwhacker, and this area through in here was kind of a border region. The people on the Missouri side of the line, which is where we're at, were more or less sided with the South. In Kansas, there was a big federal fort over there, so the Union soldiers would come over here on the Missouri side, and they would pilfer and burn and just generally terrorize the citizens over here, and that turned them against the Union Army, and so the term bushwhacker came to be. So the Union Army would come over here, burn down the houses, and there's a chance that this area right here is actually from that era. I don't have any way of knowing that. I need to do some history in here and see, but you can see it. You can see where the old house sat and the old rock foundation up there on that house. So, and then as evidenced, all of these yucca plants.